Welcome to PCM Bite Size, a series of short, informative videocasts with experts in their fields. The theme for today's session is partnerships in commerce. I'd like to introduce our expert for the day, Tim Zubek. Tim is Director of Payment Products, Discover Global Network. Tim leads the contactless payment product development team, including the company's transit and mobility solution. And it is with transit in mind that we're chatting with Tim today. Tim, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Alex.
So let's jump straight in. I think it's fair to say that in recent years, we've seen an evolution in transit systems using tap-to-pay options in open payments. But what do you feel are the factors fueling this transition?
Yeah, I think the first is customer convenience, right? I mean, with contactless payments, in an open loop system, customers no longer need to purchase a ticket ahead of time. They don't need to stand in a queue. They don't need to manage an account. They can just show up with their contactless credit or debit card, tap against the fare gates with their card or their mobile device or wearable, and then they're granted access to the system. So much more convenient, obviously touch-free, which now carries a lot more appeal, as we're still, battling the COVID pandemic.
And could you therefore please describe DGN's role in enabling contactless transit payments?
Sure. So, as a network partner, we're responsible for enabling the policies and the products that allow agencies to accept contactless payments. We work in conjunction with their third-party vendors called integrators, who manage a lot of the technology and back office ticketing on behalf of the agency. So once the agency selects who their partnerships for implementing an open loop system are, we'll work throughout the line and ecosystem to ensure that when issued cards on the Discover network are presented, that transaction is seamless, right? So for something that takes less than a second, there's a lot of collaboration that goes on behind the scenes to make sure that it works quickly and every time.
Sure. And just coming back to that point, I mean, whilst everyone understands contactless and tap payments, how do you find that they change differently in different geographies? And do you have to approach different geographies in a different way?
Absolutely. Discover, I think over the last 10 years, is the fastest growing network. We've got acceptance in over 200 countries with over 20 network partners locally. And so to be able to go in thinking about regulatory needs, thinking about customer needs in those specific markets, it's one of the ways that Discover differentiates itself from the others. And so absolutely from, consultation up front, to operational support on the back end. We're with our agencies, in this case, playing the role of the merchant, as well as local acquirers, and sometimes in transit, governments as well.
Okay, and so I guess my final question for you is, looking into your crystal ball, where do you see transit and transit payments moving to in the future?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think you'll continue to see a focus on customer experience, right? So the fact that it's, contactless is maybe more secure, it's more convenient for riders. It's also a benefit to agencies, right? In terms of helping them lower their cost of overhead and operating and handling cash. So, as cash continues to decline, as customers continue to expect more convenient, methods of payment, you'll continue to see innovation in the space. I think the second thing is partnerships, right? You see a lot of fragmentation, around the globe in terms of, partner solutions, payment solutions, and the unique needs of the agencies, by region. Look, consumers have choice in how they get around, and the agencies are astute to that. And so, you can predict that technology partnerships across some of those parties that I mentioned earlier is going to become critical to solve for some of the gaps that maybe transit agencies have today. Things like that final mile, right? You can get to 90% of the way there, but that last 10% may prevent people from taking public transit. And so, looking to technology to smooth over sort of your trip planning and get you from door to desk, all up front, and the payments within, being aggregated as opposed to separate, I think is a trend you'll continue to see in the future.
Excellent. Tim, thank you very much for being part of PCM Bite Size.
My pleasure, Alex. Thank you.